I've been in the barber industry for a little over 3 years now, and I've cash collected well over $500,000 by the age of 18 doing so. And I've directly trained over 300 different barbers and helped them go from literally less than $1,000 a month to well over $10, $12, $15,000 months in their tiny little cities as well. But to be honest, I've made so many damn mistakes along the way. And while I can't go back and change anything, what I can do is share the top 5 biggest mistakes and lessons that I would give to my younger self if I could start fresh again. Because the truth is, I would have made so much more money if I knew what I know now. So if you want to save yourself 3 years of mistakes, keep watching this video. Because these are 5 mistakes that nobody in the hair industry talks about, especially online. Mainly due to the fact that they haven't hit this level yet. So what are these 5 mistakes? Number 1, no goal. Number 2, no why. Number 3, not tracking any data. Number 4, no reflection. And number 5, community. And these lessons don't just apply to beginners. I've corrected these same 5 mistakes to students that have had well over 5 to 10 years in the hair industry itself. By the way, if you want to just copy and paste my exact systems and processes to literally make sure you hit more than $10,000 a month in less than 90 days, just click the link below to apply. Now, let's get into it. Mistake number 1, I was not leveraging social media to the best of my ability. You see, back then when I was cutting hair, I was so scared to just post that damn video. I was so scared to get myself in front of the camera. I was insecure. I was a little chubby, and I just didn't want to get myself in front of the camera. I thought I was so chopped. I'm going to be so honest. And I cared so much about what other people thought of me because nobody in my tiny little hometown was posting content in the first place. And the truth is, I knew my haircuts were pretty good, but I was just so scared of the fact of people's opinions around me, and it stopped me from posting those videos of myself in frame for a long time. Now, don't get me wrong, I was posting them musty, rusty before and after videos, and you know, the truth is they did honestly not too bad, a couple thousand views here and there. But again, I was still just coping for the fact that I was so scared to get myself on camera. And I really fucking wish that I just got myself on camera a lot earlier, because I tell you what, I joined mentorships, and this was already 2 years in. I was already good at cutting hair, and I joined this mentorship, and the first thing they told me was get your ass on camera, record, and not only just record the haircut, record you. And you know, we all have a unique personal brand. We all have our, you know, advantages and disadvantages in the life. And the more you could play into them, the better it is. And the moment someone told me to just go out there and do it, someone I actually looked up to and got inspired by told me to do it, I said, fuck it, why not? Let's do it. And the first video, I kid you guys not, like, the first video I ever did, it was with my little friend Dylan at his house. And again, this was after the fires and my barbershop burnt down. I was cutting hair outside in little, you know, outdoor areas. I was cutting hair in like kitchens, bathtubs, all of that type of stuff. And the truth is, as soon as I filmed this video and it was like outdoors on this guy's like patio, it got well over 500, 700,000 followers. I went back to school like 2 days later filming this video, and it was going viral. I'm talking thousands of followers, multiple industry leaders commenting on the video. And again, it wasn't because of my client and the before and after and how good the haircut was. It was because of me. It was because of how I was speaking. It was because of the personality I had, how young I looked as well. Cutting hair, I was like 16 years old already, but I looked 12. And it was such an advantage. Again, like being in high school, looking 12 years old in freshman, sophomore year, when I'm actually 16 years old at that point, right? It is an insecurity feeling. It is like, oh my God, I want to look older. And it's a disadvantage. But at the same time, I used it to my advantage. And look at where it's gotten me, right? And to be honest, you guys all have so much skill. You guys just haven't really figured it out yet. You guys haven't gotten real clarity, taken a step back and gotten real clarity on what your advantages and what your disadvantages are, because we all have them as human beings, and you need to play into those advantages where you can, okay? And get over the fear of posting on social media. I would say personal brand is one of the most biggest and most expensive assets in the everyday modern life now. Everyone has a damn phone. So if you're not taking advantage of that as a creator, you are seriously losing out on a ton of money and generational wealth. Pick up your phone. You don't need a professional camera like the one I'm filming on right now. It took me 4 or 5 years of being into content to finally pull the trigger on an $8,000 camera. I promise you this, you do not need a professional camera to go out and do it. You don't need the professional mics. You don't need the professional background. You don't need to be in a perfect city. You don't need to be a perfect human being to record that first video. You just need to do. And I promise you guys, I would have earned so much more money because as soon as I started creating videos, as soon as I got myself in front of these videos and expressed how I talked and expressed how I felt and whatever it might have been inside of those videos, I started getting a shit ton of clients, a shit ton of more respect, a lot more authority in my city. And that led to a lot more clients, like I said, and a lot more money, right? Because the more booked, the more money. The more money and the more booked, that leads to a price raise, which is more money, right? So I missed out on so much money just because of the fact of being scared and not really knowing what to do at the time as well and how to record content and whatnot. But it all kind of stemmed from the fact of being insecure and not wanting to actually record myself on frame. So you're watching this, don't make that same mistake I did. Mistake and lesson number 2 was not having a real content posting system. And what I mean by this is like when I first was posting, I would literally just think of something random and say it. And that led to a lot of darts getting thrown at the wall and none of them were sticking because I was just living by the quote of throw as much things at the wall and see what sticks, Hoku. And the truth is that's not how content works. And you need to genuinely have a real content system. And what I mean by this is number 1, you need the right information to post. Okay. If you guys don't know what to post and you don't know how to create and you guys are just going into content randomly like everybody else does and you're guessing and you post that video and you're wishing for that video to go viral and you send it to some friends in group chats like, yo, repost my reel. I know a lot of you guys do that. You guys are relying on your friends and whatever to support your little video. I promise you that's not the route that you want to go down because you're only going to waste more time. So you need to find the right information and the right style of content to post. You are a pure lack of information. You are missing the information to go from point A to point Z. As soon as I joined these little courses and ebooks and mentorships, and the truth is some of them sucked, but the other ones actually changed my life because I knew exactly what to post now and I had a real system because I missed out on making so much money and impacting so much more because I didn't have a real system. I had no information to follow. I was going off of 1K a month Hoku. And when I keep listening to 1K a month Hoku, I kept seeing 1K a month Hoku results. So I hope that makes sense. And the way I approach content and all that stuff now is that I simply invest into people who are doing better. I've invested into multiple barbers, barber coaches. I've invested into many coaches in the industries that I'm in now. And I'm constantly investing into higher ups because I am getting information from people who have already done it, who have already wasted their time and made the headaches on their time trying to figure it out. And I'm simply taking the shortcut of the line. I want you guys to think of mentorships like you go to Disneyland, or if you guys ever been to any amusement park, how there's the normal line and there's the fast pass. I would way rather pay that extra $50 or that extra money to get in the fast pass line and save all of that time of 2-3 hours. And to be honest, for us, it's more like years that you would save all of this time, the headaches, waiting in line, your legs are getting sore. And instead, you guys are able to actually shortcut it and get the result immediately. And every single little input, again, it's not going to come easy, but you're going to get it immediately. And it's almost guaranteed if it's the right mentor, as long as you put the right inputs in. And the truth is, what you're doing right now is not going to get you to where you want to be. Because if you knew exactly what to do right now, why aren't you at that goal yet? Right? So at the end of the day, it comes down to the information. You had the information. If I had the information to make millions, I think I'd make millions, right? If you guys had the information to build the personal brand and whatnot, why don't you have a personal brand? Why aren't you at 10K a month, right? It's simply an information gap. And as soon as I got information, I attained this information, I took risks and bets on myself, it changed my life in every aspect. You guys see it, the penthouse, traveling the world, taking care of my mom, doing the things that I truly, truly am happy about doing. Mistake number 3 was not having a real why. So what I mean by a why is why you're doing all of this in the first place. The truth is, a lot of you guys have no clue why you're doing what you're doing, and you guys are living days on repeat and on autopilot. And what that does is when things get really freaking tough in the game of business, you are going to fold because you have nothing pushing you other than the source of the desired outcome. You are simply relying on this goal, whether it's 10K, 15K a month, building the personal brand, getting best on your city, whatever it is, right? You have the goal. Everyone has goals. But if you don't have a why to push you when your post isn't going viral, or things aren't going as easy as life should go. Life is unfair. You need to get a grip. And at the end of the day, if you do not have a why, most of you will fail. Most of you will quit. And most of you won't stick with it. So number one, I didn't have a why for the longest time. And that's why I didn't push as hard as I could have. I didn't go as fast as I should have. And I didn't really, I kind of took my sweet ass time. And when things got tough, I wouldn't really fight it and take it on the jaw. I would simply be living life on autopilot. But as soon as I found my why am I doing all this in the first place? Why am I even making the money? Why am I even barbering? Why am I doing this? My why was like, retiring my mom, retiring my parents, being financially free, right? Doing it for the younger me. Right, I had my why. So when things got tough, when I wasn't getting that viral video, when I wasn't making the money I wanted to make, whatever, I had something to push me. And having that little push, if I had it earlier, I'd probably be in a way different position right now. And it's the same thing for you guys. If you guys just find your why, genuinely sit down or pause this video for like 1 minute and just find why the fuck are you doing all this in the first place? And when you find that, that is your motivator. That is that thing that pushes you on the days when you don't feel like doing that thing, right? You have it. We have it. I have it. We're all humans at the end of the day. So if you have a why, that should be the thing that pushes you to your goal, right? My fourth mistake was not tracking any data whatsoever. You see, I never used to run my business as a real CEO business owner. I used to be an employee to my own business. So hear me out. When I would run my business, I wasn't tracking any of my numbers in terms of what was coming in, what was going out, what clients were new, what clients were recurring, even for my coaching business, why did this guy pay me? What made him choose me over the other people in the industry and the other barber coaches in the game, right? I didn't get any of this information, so I had no data to track and I had no data to move with. And real business owners track what is going on with their business, not only inside of their business, but from the outside perspective. What is actually happening? What is moving the needle forward from left to right? If you are not tracking data and moving with data, you are seriously doing something wrong. So I have these certain tracking sheets that I give all of my clients. I have a client tracker, I have a content tracker, I have a pre-call tracker for anybody who works with me. They fill this out. And what this does is it gives me data. Now I have data on what kind of content to post. For example, if you guys join my program, you guys work with me inside of my inner circle, I gave out this worksheet and it's like, why you chose me? What made you choose me instead of the guy across the street or the other people on the internet? And the more information I get from these people, not only does it help me build out their custom game plans tailored to their situations and whatnot, but it also helps me post content. If 9 out of 10 people chose to work with me because of one singular video, let's just say my story video, that gives me data on, okay, let's start posting more my story videos, right? And it's the same thing for you guys, whether you're a coach or a barber, you guys should be getting real-time feedback, not only in person, but online as well. I would fully start tracking everything that's going on inside your business, because the more data you have, the more data you can move with, the more faster you can actually scale, right? When you move with nothing and move with no intention, you won't get anywhere. You need to get data and move with that data correctly. If I did this a lot earlier, I'd probably be a millionaire at the age of 17. But I'm still grateful for where I am. But for all I know, you guys can avoid making the same mistake I did and start tracking now. And again, you guys, the results of actually fixing this mistake was hitting the first 10K a month, hitting my first 15K a month, hitting 17K a month, going absolutely viral. I got sponsored by Babylist and whatnot. I went from literally less than 700 followers to over 200K in less than a year because I knew what content to post and what content not to post, right? I was seeing what content was getting me the most bookings. I was seeing what content's getting me the most followers. And obviously I saw a pattern, and with that pattern I kept going with it, right? I didn't have to throw things at the wall and pray for something to stick and get that viral video. No, I had data to move with finally. And when you have data, you know exactly what to do and what not to do. And that's when becoming a business owner comes a lot more easier, and the results will naturally come a lot faster. Another mistake I made was not having like-minded individuals around me. And the truth is, you are who you are and you are what you attract. attract. And at the end of the day, if you are a loser, you're going to probably attract more losers, and you're going to be around losers, and those losers will only make you more of a loser. You are who you surround yourself with, right? I'm sure at this point you guys heard that one before, but it's so real. And for the longest time, I was trying to get to hear those 10K months, those 15K months, going viral and doing these things. I had it in my heart. I had it in my head. But what held me back was my friends, those ones that I grew up with that maybe started smoking and maybe started going down the wrong path. And that impacted me when I wasn't even doing the things that they were doing. Just being around them and having them, you know, speak this negativity into me subconsciously, it was still affecting me. Even though I didn't really let it affect me, I was still hard-headed. I still didn't listen to them. At the same time, it held me back for such a long time because I was scared of the fact of losing friends. And the realest shit that I actually heard from one of my coaches when I was younger is that you're most likely not going to be friends with 95% of the people that you're friends with right now. And this was when I was in 7th grade. And that is so real. I'm now 18 years old. I'm in Bali, Indonesia with my brother and a friend that I met online. And I'm not around any of my friends, and I still have my hometown friends again that I'll catch up with. You know, I'm going back to Hawaii in a couple months for my graduation. I'm supposed to be a senior right now. Obviously, I dropped out, but like I'll still be able to say hi to these friends, and they'll freaking love to see me, and I'm sure I'll love to see them too, right? But the truth is, like, I'm not saying drop your day ones, but like you need to separate yourself, right? You need to draw the line in the sand and really make that sacrifice. It's like if they're not pushing you forward, and you got to be bold. If your friends aren't pushing you forward to where you want to be, what are you doing? Like, you can't be around that, because if you're around that, you're going to stay the same. I've seen it countless times for countless years on many people, especially my friends as well. You know, you entrepreneurs who maybe made it or whatever at this point, you guys might see those guys that have talked and talked and talked like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But they've never done anything. I have friends that are like that all the time when I go back to my hometown. They tell me the same shit over and over, right? Oh yeah, I'm going to try this, I'm going to try that, I'm going to try to do this. And they never stick with it because they're around the same community of people, and little do they know that is what's affecting them. And at the moment I drew the line in the sand and I was finally like, I can't do this shit anymore. Like, I left the group chats. I'm not gonna lie, with some of the friends, I just drew the line in the sand harsh as shit. I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't stand it. You know, the real ones will understand. The ones that you don't need in your life, they won't understand, and they might give you shit. And that's just a part of the game. And it's tough, don't get me wrong. Doesn't mean you can't be friends with these dudes. Doesn't mean you can't talk with them. Like, you don't gotta block these dudes, man. Like, at the end of the day, you do what you want to do. But what really, really matters is the sacrifice you make, right? And if I made these sacrifices earlier, who knows where I'll be right now. But as soon as I stepped into rooms that were bigger than myself, guys that are doing so much more than me, at my first ever mastermind, I was in Miami, and I was making around like 10K a month. And there was other guys that were making 15, 20K a month. And just being around that pushed me so much, you know, being the youngest in the room, being motivated as hell and inspired truly. And I get goosebumps speaking about this because like it was such a massive like catalyst to my growth, because like being exposed to what's possible. And it's crazy to think that 1 year later, I kid you not, 1 year later, it was November 2024 during that first ever mastermind, after seeing Miami, the yachts, the penthouse, you know, the people, how serious shit is. 1 year later, I moved into my penthouse. That's not a coincidence, bro. It's not. I was exposed. And once you're exposed, you can't go back. Take that trip, leave your hometown for a little bit. Not saying drop the day ones, but you don't need some of those friends. You don't. And it's a tough sacrifice to make. And that's coming from someone who's probably younger than you or around your age. I made that decision, and look at where it's gotten me, you know? So don't be that fucking guy, bro. Don't be that guy who stays with those friends just because it fits their needs, bro. Be selfish with your life. You only get one fucking life, man. So anyways, I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video going over the 5 mistakes I made, and I hope you guys actually implement and apply what I just taught you guys, because there is so much value to this. If you don't do anything with it, you won't see any result. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you guys actually want to fast track your growth as a barber or someone in the hair industry, whether you want to start scaling the barbering business to 10 to 15K months, or scale the coaching business to well over $50,000-$60,000 months, and really scale to the next level and fast track and really just cut the line and get there as quick as possible, you guys can always click the link below to apply, and hopefully I'll see you guys on the inside. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, honestly, comment whatever you guys can and feel like commenting. Honestly, it really means a lot to me. So comment whatever you feel like, whatever you can. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you guys want to follow me on Instagram at Hoku Arnold, and text me any questions on there as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys on the inside. Peace.